are here with Digital Suplex Radio episode 1. I wanted somebody to talk to about wrestling, somebody that's knowledgeable, somebody that really bring a lot to the table, and I found Shane. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Shane. Tell everybody what you're about.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be doing this. I've been watching wrestling since I was like 4 or 5 years old, man. I think one of my first memories of wrestling was probably when The Undertaker sacrificed Stone Cold on his like symbol, like an episode of Raw, and like watching like Undertaker and Sting on WCW, like those kind of more dark and kind of gothy characters. That's what really drew me in, and I've been in and out of it throughout life and stuff, like through high school and college. I would kind of dip in and out as I got older. And then around like 2016, 17 is when I started getting more into the independents and kind of that big kind of indie kind of boom. And that's like the late 2010s. And man, since then I've just been hooked again. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I say all the time, you can't get anybody kind of like, you can't just get somebody walking down the street like, hey, watch this, man. Isn't wrestling cool? I feel like you do
Yeah.
have to be kind of grown into it. Like for me,
Uh-huh.
example, I was my uncles will always come over or stay with us, me and my mom or whatever, and they would always watch wrestling. And one day my uncle, he was like, "Hey man, come over here and watch this, man. This is wrestling. This is WWF. This shit is dope." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm ready. Let's watch it." Of course, it was the episode where Vince McMahon was telling Trish Stratus to get on her knees and bark like a dog to get her job back.
Mm.
Of course. So he was like, "Oh, you can't watch this. I'm sorry, you can't watch this. We'll watch it next week." Next week never came. Forgot about it. It was a couple of years later where I was starting to watch, and it was during the King Booker gimmick, and I was like, "Yo, this is so goofy. What is this?" And I just kept watching. I'm like, "This is pretty dope." And it was during that
Mm-hmm.
area, 2006, and
Okay.
I didn't start turning into like a die-hard fan until like probably a couple years later. I was always rooting for John Cena and
Mm-hmm.
Batista, like Kitty, the heroes the kids liked at the time. So that's what got
Mm-hmm.
me stuck to it, and I've been watching it ever since. Hate watching it, loving it. It is what it is. Once you get into it, you in there, you in there.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. Like a lot of wrestling fans will say that through all the stupid bullshit too. It's like you can't get rid of it. Like it sits there with you forever.
For sure, man. And we're gonna get into a lot of what the show's basically about. Is we're gonna get into a lot of current events. We're gonna get into a lot of recaps of shows that other people have been covering, other people have been watching, but from the perspective of two individuals that you probably typically don't really hear from in the wrestling conversation bubble. So I think that's a real big important part of this show too. Is the inclusivity. What's the word? I don't fucking know. Representation.
Yeah, there you go.
Representation matters. Yeah. So we're definitely trying to do that. I don't even know where to start, bro. This is a bare bones kind of show. First of all, we are not professionals. I like all my content to be just fucking just as authentic as possible. I don't
Yeah,
really
I'm
have
just like
like
I'm
a
sitting in my bed with a fucking MacBook.
man. If y'all can
Like on
understand,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. It was a bitch just getting this shit set up. So
Yeah.
we're gonna jump into our first kind of little thing. I guess we can do current events first, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, let's do it. A
Okay,
lot
so
of a lot of
cool.
shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I was gonna say current events per se. We can talk about open up with John Moxley returning to AEW.
Oh
Big
yeah.
return. Probably one of the. If it wasn't given away, like okay, they made first of all GCW advertised him for the main event or the
Yeah,
kind of main event.
before AEW even announced his return, yeah.
Yeah, if
And
you're
at first I thought like, wait, he's going to AEW first? Like GC, like what's that about? There was some
yeah, so if
little
you're
mix
Tony
up
Khan,
there.
you got to think to yourself like, look, now this is my cash cow. I'm giving all this money to John Moxley. He was one of my first world champions. Like, I think we should probably get that little exclusivity. He is their world champion over there too, but like at the same
Hmm.
time, I don't know. I think they should have left that as a surprise. It wouldn't
Yeah.
it wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah. I
But
mean, kind of what they did with like the CM Punk return, like everyone knew it was going to happen, but there was no big fan like CM Punk is here. Like it's always
yeah,
just like let him be ready.
yeah, and I don't know if they're doing it for ratings. First of all, my opinion on ratings: who gives a fuck about TV ratings in 2022? I understand it's a good like kind of like I don't know, like visual kind of like thing you base it off, like how's our show
It,
doing.
yeah, it's just for the business people, I think.
But who gives a
It's
fuck?
just
Like,
for
if you
business
want to know how good
motherfuckers.
the
Yeah.
segment's going, if you want to know how good the segment's going, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, see how many followers, see how many likes it got. Who gives a fuck about the fucking TV ratings? Or we did a
How how it moves on social media is exactly, absolutely.
yeah, we did a 1.1. Who gives a fuck anyway? But like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the thing too. I'm jumping all over the place. I knew I was gonna do
Oh,
it.
go for it. Go for it.
But back in the day, if you missed, oh sorry, back in the day, if you missed an episode of Raw, you're fucked. Unless they came out with a VHS compilation of the Raw's best moments. So that's why everybody was tuning in all the time, every week. You know what I'm saying? So as far as TV ratings go, anyways, if they were saving that just because of the TV ratings, I think that was a dumb decision. But anyway, he made his return back. You know, he looks great, by the way. Have you seen the before and after pictures?
Yeah, he does look great. He's slimmed up a bit. You know, he looks like he's feeling better with him, like just in his body. Like he looks like he's feeling really good.
Yeah, bless his heart, man. So he
Yeah.
came out and everything like that. Of course, we got to talk about the fan that heckled him. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
what
Now,
was that about?
now, did you ever get what the fan like said fully? Because from I saw some stuff on Twitter of them trying to like decipher it. Something about like getting this drunk piece of trash out of the ring is like kind of what was being yelled. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it's something
And
like that. Like, bro, when you can hear a pin drop, it never got that quiet
oh
in
yeah,
AEW before.
oh
And
yeah,
then he was, John Moxley came out. He was like, "Oh, fuck off,"
yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself,
Did
So
they
that was
censor
good.
that? Did they censor that on
Nope,
TBS? They let
nope.
that go.
I think they let it go. I know Tony
Yeah.
Khan was mad as hell, but like they let it go. So John Moxley came back full force. I like how he came back at him, and he got caught up in the moment or whatever. But you got to do what you got to do, man. And, it's live
Oh yeah.
TV. So
Oh,
he
absolutely.
came back or whatever, and he walked, did his promo. I'm not gonna recite every guy. I don't have a telegram on me and shit, but he did his thing. He came back, and I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's doing good. He took care of himself, and walked out. Met Bryan Danielson eye to eye. They were supposed to fight for the semifinals or the finals of the tournament or whatever. So that's
Yeah, it's gonna be a good match.
yeah, good storytelling, everything
Especially
like that.
at this point in their career, like both of the stories of what they've been through, it's gonna be exciting. I'm really excited for that one.
For sure, me too. Now here go Bully Ray, bro, on his damn what's it called, Busted Open Radio podcast or whatever. And here he go, just old school dudes, just old school cats. Like I just don't get like why. First of all, he said, I feel like John Moxley. In so many words, he said, I feel like John Moxley should apologize to the fans
For
for
the
leaving.
fans, yeah.
Why?
For going to rehab,
Yeah,
not
for going
telling
to
them. I don't
rehab
know.
and fixing yourself. You know what I'm saying? One of the worst takes in post
Yeah.
retirement history, bro. Just
And it was so stupid. It was so stupid that like part of me is thinking, like, is he just trying to get heat because he's a dipshit? And like, is he like? It felt so dumb that it almost had to be some kind of weird, like, kind of work in the wrestling podcast world, like on social media, because it was just so bafflingly stupid to say some shit like that. Like, John
exactly.
Moxley doesn't owe anyone a damn thing. Like, if you got to fix yourself, wrestling will go on. Wrestling will be there for you. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, Jesus.
It's not like he was like. It's not like he was like. This is the meet and greet for John Moxley. This is the only time you get to see him at the meet and greet, and he no showed. That'd be different. He went to rehab, so why are you getting on his ass for
He
that?
checked into fucking rehab like that day. Yeah.
It's just dumb shit. So Bully Ray with the bad takes. That's not the first time he had bad takes on. Just like these old school cats. I don't know if you listen to Booker T's podcast. I love Booker T.
I don't listen to Booker T, but I see it sometimes when he circulates on Twitter.
Man, I love Booker T, man, and he's definitely one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. I like his show too. His shows, he's very funny. He's a very funny dude. It's just that it's that old school wrestling mentality. Boys will be boys, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta earn they kicked me out the locker room if I didn't carry the bags, and you gotta pay your dues. It's just all that.
Yeah. You have to be disrespected as a person before you can like be accepted.
Yeah, bro, I'm not in the wrestling industry. I've never been a wrestler. I understand the trials and tribulations that come with that, and they might have their own traditions and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. But you gotta look at it through our lens. Like, you just being an asshole, bully.
Yeah.
So
that shit's got to go. And I think it probably still exists in some circles, but I'm glad that like wrestlers of this generation have kind of let a lot of that shit go, and they're a little more focused on like actually working together and like making sure that everyone's taken care of. Obviously, like like I said, I'm not in it. Like, there's probably still some circles where it's still a lot of bullshit, and there is a lot of bullshit still going on in the wrestling industry. But
Oh man.
in a lot of ways, that's one area that I think is they're getting better in, and I appreciate that. There's
For
like more
sure.
support, more support for the wrestlers amongst like the other wrestlers.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And speaking of going through that AEW show, it's not really a recap. I'm just kind of picking out points. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit. Did you watch the Cody promo?
I did.
Okay, so what's the deal with Cody, man? Because I everybody's booing him. Some people are some people are starting to cheer him now a little bit. But
Yeah.
Cody, he likes to go against the grain. He's
Uh-huh.
at a position where we know he don't want to do. His heart's not in wrestling. It's in entertainment. He wants to be a movie star. He wants to be a politician. He don't want to just put all his
Hmm.
eggs in the wrestling basket no more. So the promo he came out, you know what I'm saying, and was kind of on some tweener shit, you know what I'm saying? Threw some shots at WWE as usual, That's what he does. Kind of addressed the fact that people don't really like him, which is true. You hear the boos. And
Hmm.
it just kind of came off like, and he got fired up. How Cody, you get fired up when he's making a promo. I thought this was an okay promo. Everybody's like, oh shit, this is beautiful. It's a beautiful ass promo. I just thought it kind of seemed like he was having a meltdown, and then he kind of calmed down and brought it back to wrestling. Cody's in a weird
Uh-huh.
spot right now. I don't know what to think of it.
Uh-huh. Because yeah, he's like working as a free agent, and like, is that like? Because I know it was announced like on like a lot of the wrestling like journalists and stuff. So like I probably like is in his contract like is a free agent, but like how much of that is like an angle they're trying to work with
Oh
versus
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
man. I think that's he. I mean, how's he getting paid if he's a free agent?
I don't know. Well, because I guess he's still.
Contracts?
I mean, I guess he still works is like one of the EVPs of the thing in
Yeah,
that
he probably
regard.
doesn't have a
Probably,
wrestler's
like as a
contract.
wrestler, he's probably like banking off of his you
EVP
know
contract. So that
yeah
so that is kind of a work because if you are like an EVP, you contracted, but you're technically not a wrestler, you still getting
yeah.
your money. But to make
Yeah,
the
like I
headlines,
wonder how much of it's an angle for like Rhodes to the top or some shit. It's probably
yeah.
gonna be in
Oh
Indiana.
yeah, Rose to the top, man. That show. You know what?
'Cause-
My mom likes that show.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? She
I, w-
said,
I would occasionally watch it after Dynamite. Sometimes when it would come on when it was on TNT, I would watch it because I'd be still sticking around. Like I'd see the feed and I would just watch it. And I'd watch a little bit, and like a big part of it was that weird like pro America like patriotic thing he did
mm-hmm.
like last year with like Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah.
Like that was, I mean, so at least this past Wednesday's promo was better than the patriotism promo, which was just weird as fuck.
He said
Honestly,
I think he said he regretted that.
yeah,
I
he
think he
probably does.
Yeah, that the whole Anthony Agogo thing, which was I think was very just I don't know. I feel it was very forced. Everybody was joking like, "Yeah, I'm Cody Rhodes. I had the first ever interracial baby," because he's
Yeah,
talking about his daughter. I don't know. Like it just came out
yeah,
really
like didn't
forced.
like I think like last year, like last or like maybe it was 2020, uh, Black History Month or something. Like they had like they did like he did like a Cody Rhodes logo for like Black History Month, and I guess
Are
because
you
he's
serious?
yeah, he
Oh,
did something for Black History Month, but and I was like, "Do you really gonna cash in on the fact that like you're gonna have a black child? Is that what we're doing now? We're gonna
yeah,
insert yourself
yeah,
into the struggle of Black liberation?"
bro. Those shirts gonna fly off the shelves. Damn it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I think it might have been a couple years ago he did something like that. It was weird.
Cody is so funny, bro. He's funny because he's not trying to be, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He's just I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah, like he really like he's and like to give credit where credit's due. Like he's always been really good at like the more dramatic side of wrestling angles. Like he's like especially that match with Dustin at the first
yes.
AEW show.
Yes.
Like they did a really great job of telling a story. And I think like I'm not a huge fan of Cody. I'm like when like we mentioned earlier about like you hear the boos. Like I'm always one of the ones that boos because I don't really fuck with Cody. He's not really my style. But
Yeah.
I do think that he does a great job at really getting the audience to buy in. Like the way that he's able to fluctuate from the boos to the cheers like that and like kind of play along with it. Like he's good at working. He's good at working the crowd.
He knows how to work. He's an old school, he's Dusty Rhodes'
He's got
son.
that Dusty mentality.
He got that
Yeah.
Dusty mentality. He knows how to work. One thing, he's not gonna He'll might fly off the second rope or something like that, do like a moonsault off the cage, but he's not flashy. He's
a very grounded
he
wrestler.
knows how to he knows how to work body parts, old school mentality stuff, like what's it, psychology, old school psychology, which is what I like about him too.
For sure.
But yeah, so Cody Rhodes promo was weird. What's your opinion on Sammy Guevara? Because it's hard to kind of like, he needs to turn back heel because reality has bled into kayfabe, and you know it's just he's kind of on some I don't know, not really playboy shit, which is cool. You know, everybody can make their own decisions on who they date or whatever, but like, don't come out to the ring, propose to this girl, get us all like, oh wow, that's beautiful, then gonna break up with her. No, then gonna allude to the fact that you fucking around with Tay Conti. Okay, whatever. Then you're gonna break up with your fiance, and then you're gonna be like, well, I don't know, I guess me and Tay Conti got some things going on. Like, don't be that dude. You know, that's weird. And
He's always on Instagram, like commenting on like everything she posts.
Yeah.
He's Sammy Guevara in the comments, and like, yeah, I was mad when he took the belt off of Miro. I was like so
really?
pissed. Yeah, I was like, that should not, like, Miro should still be champion. Yeah. Like, I have not cared about the TNT title since Miro lost it because I loved Miro's whole thing of like basically cutting promos on God and like going to war with God and his creator. Yeah. That was awesome. I think he was destroying everyone. I don't think anyone could touch Miro, and they just took it off him like that. And I didn't give a shit because I don't like Sammy Guevara.
You don't like Sammy Guevara? Wow.
I'm not into his, you know, his whole thing personally.
Yeah.
I just don't care. And like when he's on my screen, I'm just like, man, get off.
Okay. That's a hot take. I like that. Okay, I don't have that much problem with Sammy Guevara as you probably do, but I like him as a wrestler. He is kind of flippy shit. A little bit.
Yeah, he does his flippy shit.
But other than that, I mean, he cool. I do feel like the title run he's had has been the most clunky of the TNT champions.
Especially now with the whole like interim thing and like the kind of doing some weird hot potato shit with it right now.
Cody's been gone for a week, so let's make an interim champion. You know what I'm saying?
When he comes back like the week after, like 2 weeks after that or whatever, like it's
we fucked up. Now we got 2 goddamn TNT belts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's a weird. Now they're doing the ladder match right on Wednesday.
The ladder match for both for the unified TNT.
The unified TNT title. Like that's just. Oof. Yeah. I think Miro should still be champion. Personally, I think he should still be champion.
Yeah, Miro's a great champion. I think he's on vacation. I think he's like on legit vacation.
Probably because we haven't seen him in a while. He probably needed time off.
Yeah.
But as far as like the story goes, I'm like, I loved Miro as champion, and I can't wait for him to come back and be world champion eventually. I think he'd be a great world champion.
Of course, yeah, I'm ready for that too. But yeah, so Cody came out, so we'll see what Cody does. People still gonna hate Cody. People still gonna a little bit cheer him, but all I'm just saying is his heart's not in it no more.
Yeah, and like at this point, like he's a natural heel. I think he's just he's a little.
Why is he trying to fight it? Like I don't know why he's trying to fight it.
He's a little shit. Like like I mean the whole story of him like starting a new company and like going like he was it was kind of like because WWE was so bad to him, like he naturally he became a face because of how he was treated by this company, which is like how that's going to be. If you get fucked over by WWE, like you're always going to get some sympathy because fuck the Fed, right? Because it's the way they treat workers. And so, but I think that like that has run its course, and people will see that like this is a man that you need to hate. He's easy to hate, I think. I mean, he's like really drawn out entrances, comes up from the ground, like it's so dramatic, it's so excessive, it's so like fucking just
splurging on himself. What's the perfect Cody heel turn, or what I thought they were gonna do? I'm gonna book it real quick. So it's gonna be a baby face in trouble, right? It's gonna be a baby face in trouble. Who's gonna save him? Cody's music hits. Oh, it's Cody. Cody's here. But Cody just takes his time coming up with the whole entrance, and he does the music and then the lights, and the baby's face still getting his ass beat. Oh
my god!
And then Cody's still like doing his shit. You know what I'm saying?
His savior shit.
Yeah. And then he comes down.
Got that weird savior complex. That's probably one reason.
Yeah, and then Cody comes down, and then everybody bails out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a bunch of ways you could do Cody, but what they're doing with him right now, where he's trying to like fight it and get people on the side, it's just not working.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not into it. Like don't. sometimes when they start getting too meta with like the references, I'm just like, I don't like,
Yes.
like it's supposed to be a show. Like, don't constantly be like, oh, this is a shoot. Like,
Yeah, bro, I
don't wink
hate that.
wink
I
that
hate
shit.
that.
Like, like just give me the show. We all know. Just do the damn show.
Yeah, and then you got to think about your casual fans too. It's like that's a lot of things AEW does. AEW is the reason their needle doesn't move up any. Like they might have a million viewers on TV, but the reason they're staying at this level right now is because this is all the fans that they're gonna get. Back in 2006, WWE, they were still making stars and creating stars and growing storylines. Batista started as a deacon and he grew. John Cena started from where he was. Dr. Thugonomics, he grew. They keep molding and growing, but they're not throwing no inside jokes and no inside like you were at the other company and you. People don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
I don't give a shit.
The reason why WWE grew so much is because they took these characters and they kept growing them and putting them on these bigger and bigger stages.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I think WWE does way better than AEW. I feel like as of right now, I'm more of an AEW fan than WWE, which isn't saying shit really, because they not really doing either one ain't really doing too much for me. But that's the reason why WWE was thriving back then, like 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, is because they kept and now you see WWE's at a stalemate now because they hiring people off the street. They used to cheerlead and shit. They don't even hire wrestlers no more. People that have wrestling experierience. You know what I'm saying?
They released all the wrestlers they did have.
And they going straight to AEW. They going to Impact. They going to GCW. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it almost felt like an overnight thing because like Triple H tried that NXT thing, kind of molding himself after Ring of Honor, PWG, like kind of those hot indie movements of the time.
yeah.
And basically once AEW came and they tried to do the Wednesday night thing, it just didn't work. And I don't know. I try not, I don't know the inner workings of WWE business. I mean, Triple H is probably going to be fine. He's in the McMahon family. He's going to be good. Whatever. People are always talking about Triple H. But, like, they had all of these great wrestlers. And then once, like, they immediately shifted to NXT 2.0, and they were just dropping like flies. Releasing all these people.
Perfect transition. I did want to talk to you about this. In the news, it did come out that said WWE is disappointed in NXT 2.0. Guess what? We are too.
Yeah, I can't watch it.
It's awful. It's awful. It's terrible. And I hate to just shit on shit that I'm not a part of, that I don't experience. Like, I know they're still in there taking bumps. I know they're still in there busting their ass, but come on.
And honestly, that's not on them, though, right? That's not, like, it's really, the reason it sucks is not on the workers trying to put on a good show. It's the people who are producing the damn thing.
Yeah, like y'all know exactly what y'all doing, and the fact that not only firing the wrestlers, firing people behind the scenes quitting. Scotty Too Hottie quit. Shit. Of course, I can't think of fucking everybody, but
they dropped William Regal.
Dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised they haven't got rid of Triple H ass yet. You know?
Yeah.
But it's just the soul. The show has lost all his heart and soul. I feel like it was the right move to put the title on Braun Breaker because he is kind of the new face of NXT 2.0, like I said in the previous video I made. But
and it shows you kind of where the WWE's priorities are in terms of who they see as stars. Like, who do they want their champions to be? And I think Braun Breaker fits more of that Vince McMahon mold than, a lot of those NXT guys who are, like Adam Cole, for example. Like, I don't think if Vince McMahon had Adam Cole, I don't think that would have probably been really bad.
First of all, that shows that Vince McMahon doesn't watch the product because after Adam Cole was about to come up, he was about to be the manager for Keith Lee, and they were gonna make him shave his head. You heard about that?
I heard a little bit about about talking about managing, but I didn't hear those specifics.
They're gonna have him shave his head and be just a manager. Because Vince McMahon look at Adam Cole, he's like, where you gonna park my car? He don't know here. You know what I'm saying? Vince McMahon don't pay attention. And if you're not Lex Luger swole, he don't got nothing for you. You know?
And and it's really a testament to guys like, Bryan Danielson. Like, he was a guy that basically forced Vince's hand because of just how organic his connection was with the people. Like, they loved that style. They loved his energy when he was Daniel Bryan, and because that's not the kind of person Vince pushes. It's never been the kind of guy that Vince pushes, and so I think now we're getting back to that place where now he's going back to his big motherfuckers, these big dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because AEW, they got the little guys now. Like they got their place for that.
Yeah.
So now Vince doesn't have to, I guess try to please everyone or try to please anybody really except himself.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, going back to NXT 2.0, man, have you seen any of the like the promos or the skits backstage or anything like that? It's just,
Not really. I've seen like they come on my feed, but I don't really watch them.
man, it's like they're doing like, it's like they're literally filming like Key and Peele skits. It's
Oh my
on some
god.
shit like that, like multiple camera angles, lighting. It's just so fake. It's
Oh
very
my god.
fake. That's the
Yeah,
word.
and even the in-ring setup is ridiculous. It is so bright. Like I imagine you'd probably get a fucking headache just trying to watch that for 2 hours. Just like just visually, like I can't. It doesn't feel like anyone could enjoy that.
Yeah, bright ass Tekken arena, bro. That's what it
Yeah,
looked
and
like.
I hear like they do like a lot of like the ridiculous like camera cuts and like they're so like just it's so frenetic and very like just sporadic with the things they do.
Yeah, it's just not for me. NXT 2.0, it's done. You can't save it. If Bruce
Yeah.
Prichard's in charge of it now, very close minded. To be honest with you, it's just not gonna work out. We'll see what they do with it.
We'll see.
I have no expectations for it, but
Yeah, I mean, I never really have a lot of good things to say about the WWE, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, WWE is one of those companies, man. It's one of those companies.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. We'll get into
Mhm.
it. I also did want to talk about Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble's coming up. My favorite pay per view of the year.
That's always when I would if I was in a phase where I wasn't watching wrestling, I'd always come back in during Mania. I'd always come back for Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. It's just
Royal Rumble, I think, is probably the best pay per view of that whole run. Like that. It's the most telling pay per view. Like it really sets up for like what this big because that's the biggest part, the biggest year, the biggest part of the year for them. Royal Rumble Mania. That's their big run, and so Royal Rumble is always that one that tells you, okay, where are they going? Because that's who do they have winning the Rumbles and stuff like that. So I'm always excited for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and it's honestly one of the best match stipulations of all time. So shout out to I was gonna say shout out to Pat Patterson, but yeah. I gotta be careful. I don't know what to say, but anyways, one of the best match stipulations of all time. You know what I'm saying? Just the feeling of like who's gonna be next. Is there anybody coming back? Who's gonna win? It's just very fun. I love
there is something about seeing like anticipating who's coming out the curtain.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and that's there's something about that. A return, a debut, like there's nothing like that big pop whenever like a reveal happens. Like it's one of the best things in wrestling.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar dream match. One of the few last dream matches we've had in the past, in recent memory, in my opinion. Because I've been waiting.
That's at the Rumble.
That's gonna be at the Rumble, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't kept up with a lot of WWE storylines, so.
Oh, I'm surprised I have. I listen to like some wrestling podcasts here and there.
Oh, okay.
So, but like, yeah, man, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley with WWE title. I'm ready to see like, so it's gonna be a big beefy hoss fight. Vince is gonna bring out the lotion for that one. You know what I'm saying? But
like that SummerSlam like Fatal 4-Way a few years back. It was like Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah.
It was Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Samoa Joe.
That's a hoss fight.
Yeah, that was a hoss fight.
That's a beef. That's a lot of beef in that ring.
That's a lot of beef. Big meaty men slapping meat. That's what that is.
For sure, man. But I'm looking forward to that. So, we'll see what happens. Royal Rumble for me, like I said, one of my favorite match stipulations. But they did tease WWE themselves, or did they? Nah, not themselves, but I think some people behind the scenes that got an ear on, like the wrestling journalists or whatever, have an ear like behind the scenes. Did say the forbidden door is might come open at the Royal Rumble WWE.
Yeah, so, they announced Mickie James, right?
Yeah, but other than Mickie James though.
Okay. Because I know they announced Mickie James, and they announced her as the Impact Knockouts champion too. They acknowledged that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's cool. Unless she don't come out with the belt, that's cute. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's crazy what money will do. Like, it must be a big payday because they threw her shit in a fucking trash bag and they're like, "Get your ass out of this fucking locker room."
Yeah, WWE's not going to do anything if they don't think they're going to be able to cash in on it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they're profits first by all means.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Mickey James come back. That's gonna be cool. I think it's probably gonna be a one-off. I cannot
Yeah,
see
yeah.
how you gonna work for two wrestling promotions at once. I don't think that's ever been done. Has it? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, John Moxley.
At least probably not with WWE.
Right, right,
Like it
right.
can be done with like AEW, New Japan, even back in like New Japan. Like I mean, they did all that shit
Mm-hmm.
with like WCW, New Japan. But as
Right,
far as
right.
WWE is concerned, they don't play that. They're all exclusive to WWE.
Yeah, yeah. You ain't
They
got
are
nowhere.
independent contractors that work full time for the WWE.
Ain't that a bitch? But yeah, so that's the hands they dealt with. Yeah, I'm anticipating the Royal Rumble. Any predictions? Who you think's winning for the men's side and the
Man,
women's
who are
side?
they? I don't know. I'm kind of going in blind here. Who they been pushing lately?
Who they been pushing? Okay, for
Who they been
women, I'm thinking it's gonna be Bianca Belair. I think Bianca
Bianca?
Belair. Yeah, she's always been pushed as someone who's strong, and she has the face to for girls to look up to. Like we said,
Yeah,
representation
I
is
love
important.
Bianca. I loved her NXT run. Yeah, I love Bianca.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she did she win it last? Because I know she was in Mania last year. Did she win the Rumble last year?
Dude, I forgot who won that shit
Because I know
last year.
she beat Sasha at Mania for the title. Did
Yeah,
she? I don't know, but I don't know if she won the
she
Rumble.
might have won the Rumble last year. I don't know. I'm scared to do anything with my computer before this shit. You know how it's giving me trouble, but yeah, I don't know who won. I'm gonna Google it real quick. It's not like we live in them like that. Let me see who
I
won.
think the men's last year was Edge, right?
Edge won last year.
Last year I think Edge won.
Dude, that goes to show how much shit happens because I completely forgot who won. Oh, Edge didn't win.
He did win, man. He had that stem cell treatment, man. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Them stem cells, though, they can do some shit for you.
Last year, Charlotte Flair.
Oh, Charlotte Flair won 2021?
She won. Oh, never mind. She won 2020.
2020. Okay.
2021. Bianca Belair. You right.
Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I don't know who the fuck gonna win this year. Who
Uh,
else they got?
I don't
Queen
know who the
Zelina
fuck's
Vega?
going.
Like nobody else. I don't think anybody else could probably, unless they pull like a Liv Morgan or something like that, or maybe like an Alexa Bliss come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind
No,
of on that.
I might check it out though. I tend to check out at least those big shows just to
Hmm.
kind of see what's going on.
Like the Big
Like,
Four.
I've stopped watching WWE just as I've gotten, I've gotten a more like I've seen more that's out there, and like I kind of
Right.
gravitate towards some of the more like a lot of the independents and a lot of the shit that's going on there. So it's kind of sad that WWE has gone the way they've gone. Got to get that Saudi money and fucking,
What is
like
that about? Oh,
yeah,
that's a whole nother topic. They're doing the elimination chamber there. I think.
oof, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear more of my thoughts on the WWE as we go along because
Yeah.
I got a lot of them.
Yeah, I
I got a lot of
understand.
them.
I understand. They don't, but dude. I would have shit my pants. They like held them hostage one year. Like they were like wouldn't let
Yeah.
them get on the
Oh yeah,
plane or some shit.
they left wrestlers there. They abandoned their
Yeah,
wrestlers.
great company. Yeah,
Great company.
yeah.
Yeah, Vince.
Imagine training to be a wrestler and being like, I just want to be WWE champion one day. You got to be like 10 years old or some shit. If you really like training, I don't see how WWE would be the destination. Like I don't know.
Hmm. And it's people it still is for folks too. Like I know Kevin Owens re-signed, Sami Zayn
They
re-signed.
must have got paid seven
Oh yeah.
figures. They must have had
Oh,
seven
they
figure
had to get.
contracts.
They absolutely had to get like
Because
just the best deal
Kevin,
possible.
because Kevin Owens' heart is in the Indies, so it was kind of
Yeah,
crazy to see him resign. I guess it's not because he has a family, and WWE gonna take
yeah.
care of you.
He's all about the family, and like he's always said that in his career, like WWE was always the goal. Like when he was growing up, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying though, is like that was the goal for wrestlers back when they were kids, right? And and stuff like that. Adam Cole said the same thing. WWE was always the goal. Finn Balor, WWE was always the goal. And they get there, and Kevin, to his credit, has had a really good run. I think because I think he's just so natural. I think he's so natural, and um, yeah. But it's interesting to see like how a company that does what they do to their wrestlers, and that he would resign. But hey, he's got a family. They always come first, and I respect that. He's
Yeah,
got to do what he's got. Secure the bag, honestly, too. If they're giving you that, take the money,
take
take
it,
that money.
take it, and hopefully they don't release your ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, but So yeah, Royal Rumble prediction, and then for the men's side, I don't know who might win it this year. I don't know who. Like honestly, like the way and you were asking me earlier, like who are they pushing? Dude, good question. Yeah. It's just the main three: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley. If you can call that a push, because they're already at the main event scene. If you're not in the main event scene, nobody's getting pushed really. Who's getting pushed? Like,
are they building anyone new?
They are. Austin Theory. You heard about the Austin Theory stuff, right?
Really?
You heard about
I saw a video with him and Vince talking.
No, that's the storyline. Like he's Vince's protege.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't. Dude, I don't fuck with Austin Theory.
Why not?
What happened? I don't fuck with Austin Theory. I don't know. I never have. I've never really been into him.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him because he was on that documentary they did on Vice, like the wrestlers. That little wrestling series they did, and it was when he was in Evolve. They did like a little bit on him, and I was kind of a little interested, but I don't know. And I think, I think also he might have gotten mentioned in when people were speaking out.
Oh man, he got hit with speaking out.
I think he might have got mentioned.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
But
Well, so they're going with Austin though.
They're strapping a rocket. They're strapping a rocket to Austin.
Really?
Right, yeah, he beat Finn Balor clean on Raw a couple weeks ago. I think it was last week, something like that. Yeah, they're putting and he's getting like backstage segments with Vince McMahon like every week, and like Vince is trying to like mold him into be like the perfect WWE superstar or something like that.
I probably work. I mean, I've listened to Austin Theory speak, and I think he probably is a guy you can mold. And shape into whatever you want him to be.
Yeah, because he's so young and he's already swole, so the body part's out the way. He has the look. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it in terms of like the product for sure. And like he's obviously he can physically go in the ring. I just I don't know what it is. I always need something a little more from wrestlers, and I can't quite always pin it. But I don't know. He didn't do it for me.
I got you. Yeah, we'll see what he does. But I think he might be. Now, if Austin Theory wins the Royal Rumble, I'm not gonna say I'd be surprised, but I'd be like, wow, they actually did something. Because when I think Royal Rumble victories, I think like whoever's big at the top right now, like Randy Orton, Edge, stuff like that. But if they go with somebody left field, that'd be a nice little change of pace. So.
And based on what you're saying, like he could at least be like one of those final ones, because that's always a cool thing too, is like seeing those final four. Like in the Royal Rumble, because you can see like, okay, they like try to set it up to where like, okay, these are the guys, like any one of them could do it.
Yeah.
And so, like I think if he goes that far, like that in and of itself is probably gonna be very telling as to where he's going.
I'm still waiting on that spot where two guys are fighting and they eliminate themselves, and then one guy's in the ring like, oh shit, I won. I'm still waiting on that spot, bro. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
And then I guess the last thing I had I had two things on the docket, and it deals with kind of like contracts. It was Mustafa Ali denied his release, and Lio Rush is a free agent again.
Absolutely. Now this is some good shit we can get into right here.
So okay, here's the thing about Lio, bro. I love Lio Rush. I love Lio Rush, bro. He's one of my favorite new wrestlers like ever. Like small dude, can still go, tons of stamina. Fast as hell, can wrestle, has awesome explosive moves, can talk, everything. And he'll be on a program in a company for like 2 or 3 good months, and then he'll just leave or retire. Then he'll come back, and then he'll do good for about 2 months, and then he'll just leave again. It's just this, he can never get a good momentum going, I feel like Lio Rush can. And now he's a free agent after the whole, first of all, which I wouldn't have done, calling out his boss on Twitter about, no matter if it was about diversity or what. I feel like that should have been a conversation had in private, in my opinion. But as a black dude, I understand his frustration because, you know what I'm saying, look where
he's always been big about that too. He's always stood up for that.
And that's why I fuck with him even more. Yeah. That's why I like Lio Rush. But, maybe not the time and place to call your boss out. And I that may have had something to do with how he got released. Or not released, but how he ended up. Because what the fuck was his contract? Like 4 months? Like he had a 4-month contract.
It ends in February, I think.
He just joined the bitch
Yeah.
last fall. So
Man,
that's
I loved the direction they were going, where he was like kind of a scammer, like with this whole like business decision. I'm like, this man's gonna
yeah.
scam somebody.
Yeah. But then
I love that whole thing.
that was cool, but then they kind of dropped that off, and then they
Yeah,
made him like
they did.
Dante's. They made him like Dante Martin's big brother or whatever. So that was kind
Yeah.
of I don't know, but all this stopping and starting for Leo Rush is kind of like,
Mhm.
what the fuck. So what's next for Leo Rush? He did make an appearance in GCW, which we're gonna end off with. We're gonna
Oh
recap
yeah.
the whole show, whatever, or you're gonna help me out with that because you saw most of it. But
Yeah.
yeah. So what's next for Leo Rush? I hope he's doing all right, man.
Yeah, I hope he's doing good too, because he's always been very outspoken about how important he feels that it for black people in wrestling to get that representation, because with the whole big swole thing. I don't know if you listened to her call-in show that she did where she talked about that.
Uh-uh.
I listened to it. It was really great, really informative, and like she was so thoughtful and respectful, and like she even like shouted out Tony Khan for like just kind of how good of a dude he was, like to how he treated everyone like at events and stuff.
Nice.
And all she really talked about was she didn't feel like she was seeing enough of you know of the women especially, but also just black talent getting those positions and getting that kind of proper representation. And there's a good point to be made there, because the first thing that Tony Khan did when he responded was he started counting. He started naming names, like looking at numbers. And Big Swole wasn't talking about the amount of people you have on your roster. She was talking about how they're being used. Are they being put in these prominent positions? What's the distribution like? Like how much emphasis, how much weight are we putting on our black talent and our female talent in the women's division? And it's still there's still work there to be done. And I think when Tony Khan got really defensive about that, that was really, and especially when you put into context as to what Swole actually was talking about, it was like, what the fuck, man? Like, fuck you. Personally. But see, the
uh
first thing he said was like, the head people of AEW are brown, me and the other guy or whatever. And I'm like, that's not the fucking point. Congratulations, awesome. That's the first thing they do is they always start counting people. It's always
Yeah.
numbers on a sheet, and like representation is not just about checking off the number box. Like it's
Uh
about how are you actually utilizing your talent. Like how much weight do you give them, and like when you look at the whole picture, what's the actual distribution of like how much time, how much investment, and like how well they're represented, like actually as characters and performers.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and I can totally see your point about not calling out your boss on Twitter. Me, I'm all about ruffling feathers, though. I'm all about calling out bosses when they're doing some shit. So
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. Oh
power
yeah.
power to Leo Rush
Yeah,
for
yeah.
doing that, because
Yeah.
once again it proved that he's not just gonna take the money and you know shut up. Like he's gonna still be about what he's about. And he called out Tony Khan that way. But then like afterwards, he followed it up with they had a good conversation, and like he said like he was kind of optimistic that they're gonna be working together, and like to really like kind of understand like what real diversity and representation means in wrestling. And then I was kind of hopeful, but then after that, it was like I'm gonna be a free agent again, and like do your
Damn.
thing. And I can't really, I mean, I can only speak in certain capacities, but what it must be like for black performers to still feel like and to still experience this place where they're still always going to be secondary to like basically the industry, because it's still like very much in power of whiteness, really.
It is,
Like yeah, like white people still run the shit. And
yeah.
to be a black performer in that, like I just I'm always, and they always respond differently. Like Will Hobbs, he responded the way he did. I don't know if you saw how Will Hobbs
Yeah,
responded.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Gave Tony Khan props. Yeah.
yeah, give Tony Khan props, for all the position, and like fair enough, like absolutely, But I think, and that's his experience, and I think that's valid for sure. I don't like to speak for black people. Like they all have their different experiences and the way they
Mm-hmm.
see
For
things.
sure.
Yeah, so it's not a monolith, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
But
there you go.
yeah, but for a guy like Leo Rush, I've always respected Leo for, even whenever he has these short stints, he's always going to be honest about what he's going through with the companies that he works for. And I like that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I respect him too, and of course Leo Rush. He's a young family man, so he's
Hmm.
making decisions what's best for him. He has talked about his mental health struggles, And he has other ventures too, like music. He's really dedicated to his music career too. Maybe his heart's not in it no more. I don't want to speak for anybody. That's just my suggestion. That's probably what I'm just seeing on the side. But you see a young dude, a young talent like Leo. I think he's like 25, 26 now. He's my age, I think. And so seeing him have like all this in front of him, everything lined up. Like you got this company and this is like the AEW's not even at their prime yet. They're going to their prime. They're climbing up their prime. Yeah. And you could be one of the main factors of this company. You know what I'm saying? Just how you look at how you look. When I first saw Leo Rush, I'm like, he looked like one of the dudes I went to school with. Like, not really a lot of wrestlers are like small, black, athletic, not really jacked, but like built like a basketball player, built like a football player, got a high top sponge, got dreads, like you have the look too. You look unique. You don't look like everybody else. So with the moves you do, nobody else can move like Leo Rush. You're unique. So, you have a national TV spot for the second time. And, it's just, I guess if you just don't want to be look, I speak from experience. If I don't like a place or if I don't want to be somewhere, I'm dipping. Yeah. So it's up to him at the end of the day. Right. I can't be like, please, but it's up to it's his decision at the end of the day. I wish he could have stayed longer. I would have seen it would have been nice to see him with a TNT run or maybe a FTW title run or something like that. That'd been cool.
That would have been cool. Yeah. I think he would have done some really cool things. He probably could have done some really cool things in the tag division too.
Yeah.
And I think Leo Rush is a guy that he can succeed anywhere he goes. And I think he's even got some indie dates coming up, so I think he's still sticking around in the indies. Like he's going to be on Shane Strickland's big indie return. Swerve's house. He got signed to that deal.
Yeah, Swerve's house. And
shout out to Shane Strickland. That's my guy. Strickland's my guy. Swerve is my guy. Absolutely.
Nice. I know you were devastated. I know you were devastated when you got the news about Hit Row.
Oh, Hit Row! Like he made something real special there with Hit Row. I think he really did. Like. Because hip hop and the WWE has never had a very healthy relationship because of just how racist that company is. And very racist. And to see them to see Swerve be able to create that group kind of on his terms and be able to kind of like represent hip hop the way he wanted to represent hip hop, the way that he saw hip hop culture. I think that's great. And I think that we're going to do some really cool things. There were a lot of people were behind Hit Row and they just dropped it. So casually too, like so casually, they just dropped it. They announced them like it was a big deal. They were coming to SmackDown. They had those cool segments, in the back with like the King Xavier Woods thing they did with them. And like, they can all talk. And Swerve is like just unbelievable in the ring. Like he can do anything. I think Swerve can do anything in the ring. But like I am excited to see him on the Indies again. I think he's one of the best, and it sucks that WWE didn't see that.
Yeah, they don't see a lot of shit, bro. I don't know. They dropping the ball on like just because like for what? And I don't want to be like they kept so and so because that's not fair to whoever they kept. But it's just. Listen to they don't listen. The thing about WWE that frustrates me, and we're all over the place again, that's okay. The thing that frustrates me about WWE is that they are not afraid to insult their audience.
No, absolutely.
You can have somebody go by the name of Walter their whole career. No, nigga, his name is Gunther now. It's Gunther. Don't you know his name is Gunther? Like, stop insulting us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not dumb. We know, like, this person was over here the other day. We know what this person can do. He's not that kind of person. Stop changing personalities so drastically. And I think
they don't acknowledge those past either. Like they just assume that when you're in the WWE system, this is the only thing that exists.
Yeah.
You exist only here. You've never existed here.
And the thing that they don't want to hear is that social media is a thing. So it's so easy. Like back in the day, you could probably jump ship to WCW and have a new personality or something like that. Back in the 90s or whatever. But now you can get on the phone and be like, oh, look, it's fucking Eugene. Who's this guy? Nick Dinsmore. Like, you could be like, oh, what the fuck? He's, it's just different. Santino Marella.
Shouts out to Nick Dinsmore right there,
bro.
Eugene.
Shout out to him. Bro. Hopefully, Royal Rumble surprise entrant. I love Eugene. I love Eugene when I was a little kid. I don't know. It's just, I thought that was the funnest shit. Like I know a lot of people found it offensive, which looking back at it, it
looking
was
back,
fucked
it
up.
probably doesn't age well.
It does not
Yeah,
age
but when
well.
you're a little kid, you're
I
not
was
really
like,
yeah,
this
you
is
can
so
see.
cool. He's like special. He's special. You know, like I thought that was a cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool
He's just a
gimmick.
little
low-key.
kid that like knows how to wrestle, and he just
Yeah,
get in there.
and he watch. He's a super fan, so he uses everybody's finishing moves as his regular moves.
Yeah, and that was
so
kind
cool.
of a fun gimmick. But like, yeah, looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a little fucked up.
Yeah,
Because I think for like to be fair to us, like I think as fans, we were able to kind of find like the good in that, but like we know that it was probably pitched very cynically, very offensively. Like,
so he's gonna be special, and he's
yeah,
not
like
gonna
there were probably
yeah.
some, and like yeah. So yeah, but there's that. And,
Shout out to that
yeah,
clip of shout out to that clip of Triple H. I don't know if you remember from Raw. He was like, Eugene.
Oh yeah.
He just called him out.
They had that whole feud. Like they had a. I remember that whole storyline with Triple H and Eugene, and like William Regal got involved. He cut that like incredible promo, like defending Eugene. I'm like, damn, like even like with a storyline like that, William Regal was still just dropping gems on the mic.
Eugene, and that was bro. I can't believe we ended up talking about Eugene, but that was one of my favorite like characters, and he had like one of the baddest. He had one of the best theme songs, bro. Like.
Oh yeah,
that piano with the guitar solo.
Yeah, it kind of like had that sort of like Eye of the Tiger feel.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to.
Yeah,
bro. One of the best, like honestly underrated character. Eugene is, bro. In my opinion, offensive as fuck, but still good. It ages kind of weird. Like Crime Time, I used to be a huge fan of Crime Time because I'm like, they black niggas, But now I'm like, fuck, it was.
And like it's funny when you said that because I remember like I think like JTG. Even like when he would get asked about it, like he kind of talked about how he was still able to kind of take that gimmick, which was rooted in so much racism and stereotypes, and he felt like he was able to kind of reclaim it in a way, and kind of like if he's gonna do it, like he's gonna take it and he's gonna try to make something good out of it. And I always find that interesting, like whenever like wrestlers of color. Or any marginalized identity are given, given something that's kind of at their expense.
Yeah.
And they kind of flip it a little bit. They kind of make it a little subversive and they kind of take it, reclaim it, and they become, and they use it and they kind of overcome that in a lot of ways. And it shouldn't have to happen. Like you shouldn't fucking be making racist gimmicks like that.
Yeah.
But it always is cool whenever I'm able to I hear talent like that are able to kind of find ways they were able to kind of transcend what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, perfect example, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah, the Lychine steel. Like, oh yeah, Mexicans are, they like to walk around and steal shit, right? Because they're Mexican coming across the border.
Yeah, and then but he
and like the whole JBL thing with like JBL was going out rounding up Mexicans and like trying to deport them. Yeah.
That's like right when I started watching. To his credit, it was like good heel heat, I guess.
Oh yeah, he was. Oh, I hated JBL. I hated JBL.
He sucked. That was one of those ones. You know what? A lot of people hate JBL for that. Like the whole Eddie Guerrero feud, the Shawn Michaels feud, where like he bought like his stock or his contract or something, and he like
like wasn't it like Shawn was like he was falling on hard times
because of
JBL hired him.
They made the recession like into a storyline. Like apparently Shawn Michaels got broke or some shit, and then JBL like made him like his slave or some shit.
Yeah, he bought his services.
Yeah, something like that. He made him like lay down and like lose matches on purpose and shit. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, man. So talking about Leo Rush.
Yeah, back to and kind of back to with contracts and with characters and being offensive, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. What do you think Vince was telling him to do? Do you think he was telling him to do something offensive?
Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, Vince has done racist terrorist gimmicks before, but I feel like in 2022 he would have to have some like perspective as to how that was going to go. But I don't know. It may not have been a terrorist gimmick. I don't know. That's because that's what they did with Muhammad Hassan.
No, that's okay. That's perfect for you to assume that because of what they've done in the past, bro.
yeah, and so, but like, I mean, because he said like they gave me a character, I don't want to do that, and so now they denied his release, and I'm like, I'm sure it was some racist shit, Because of course that's all fucking Vince can fucking see with wrestlers of colors. Like how can I bank in and exploit these stereotypes of them? And
Yeah. And it's just Ali, he's been held. Did you hear about how, and he's frustrated. Did you hear about how he was going to win the money in the bank? All day he was like, I'm winning the money in the bank. I'm winning the money in the bank. It was the one where Brock Lesnar won. He was told I think he was told at the curtain coming out, hey, you're not winning no more. And then he made his entrance. Like, I would be fucking pissed.
They do that shit.
And
that's
that
a
all the
WWE
time.
thing.
Yeah.
They do that all the time. They will change plans 50 fucking times in a goddamn day up until the moment the match starts.
Throwing out scripts and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the thing WWE does. And he's just in a place where he's frustrated with where he's at. And, like, unfortunately, though, he signed a contract, so he can't just get up and leave. So he has to wait and ride that bitch out. I don't know how long his contract is, but they denied his shit. But what's the point of denying his shit if he's openly talking shit about y'all on Twitter? Is it a pride thing? It has to be a pride thing.
Or just power.
Power.
Like, just fucking power over people.
Yeah.
And they love flexing their power over people. That's a Vince thing.
Mm-hmm.
He loves having power over people.
Yeah. That's sick.
I think, and Mustafa Ali is a guy, like, the people really behind him. Like, he is kind of naturally like a guy that you want to root for.
Yeah.
He's got a lot, like, you can really get behind him. And once again, Vince, man.
God damn it, Vince.
It's such good shit.
It's good shit, brother.
Good shit, brother.
Bless his heart. He shouldn't be 78 still running the company, bro. But it's his life.
Man, have you seen the way he looks too?
I'm trying not to. He looks. He's not Vince no more. His face is sunken. All that makeup. His eyes are glossed.
He's had a lot of work done.
Yeah, he's all pupil now. Like, he looks like you ever seen the cartoon Doug? He got Doug eyes, bro. Like, they're just beads, bro. You ever play Smash Bros? He's Ness, bro. He just got like dots for eyes, bro. It's a wrap, bro.
And he's still calling all the shots. Everything still runs through him.
Yeah, man. It's tough for old people to be in power like that, like what we're seeing right now. That's a whole different story, though.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think Ali's in a bad spot. He's in a bad spot, but I guess he needs to learn how to make it work, or, I don't know, because they're not even using him on TV, but, when it's just an unfair situation.
But I think it is good to know that, like, and I hope he finds some peace of mind knowing that that he is supported by the people. Like, the people don't buy it for 1 second that he's in the wrong here. And, like, I think he's going to have that support, and that's important. All things considered, at least people know that, like, he's not the bad guy here. He's not a guy that didn't just fall. Like, he's a guy that, like, stood up for who he was and was like, I'm not going to do that because that's not who I am. And I'm not going to be, like, exploited like that and disrespected like that. And I think the people know that. And that's a good thing. I feel like,
Yeah. So big best wishes to Ali, man. Just suck it up. I heard the catering's good over there. They got some good meals and shit. So,
catering.
Just kind of
shouts out to Ali. He's good dude.
Good dude, man. But that's all I have for the current topics. A good amount we talked about. And now we can get into this GCW show. And I'll let you lead the way because, like I said, I tried to jump in when I could. I was kind of trying to figure stuff out for the show while it was happening. Sure. But I know you caught most of it. So, what they opened up with. I think I got the gist of what happened.
Yeah, so the Wrld on GCW, this was their big. They sell out the Hammerstein Ballroom, like legendary ECW arena. There was a lot of shout outs to ECW throughout the whole show. They even have the GCF&W shirt, which like from the ECW days. So they're very much like people. There's a lot of parallels and a lot of commonalities between what ECW was and what GCW is now for the independents. Probably the most popular, the biggest independent company right now. I would say, just because of the progress they've made. So they have this was kind of like their big landmark event, I think, for this next era of the company. Like, it was huge. And that's why, taking all that into consideration, it was, I don't know, kind of a bummer in a lot of ways. Like, I've been to some GCW shows. They're pretty fun. They're chaotic. The ones in Dallas, especially, they're kind of chaotic. Like, it's kind of a free for all. Like, it's very much just you do your thing, and that's cool, whatever. But like when I watch the live streams, there's always some technical stuff going on. It's always clunky with the cameras. It's always the
Yeah.
feed will cut in and out, the audio will cut in and out, and
And this is
there's
like
always
not the
like
stream you're using. This is just like their little like the actual production
this was
stream.
the Fight TV pay per view stream, and
What
like
the fuck?
it was going out a lot, and like there was a lot of like technical miscommunications, and and I can forgive that, and that's fine, and at the grand scheme of everything, that's whatever. Um, but man, like like the crowd was interesting too. Like they were in and out of things, like kind of like the way you say you were kind of in and out a lot. Like they felt like they were in and out too the whole night. So like they had the pre-show matches.
What a
They had the
clusterfuck, bro! Who was that black dude fell off the ladder?
AJ Gray.
What the fuck? Who
Well,
was
like he
that?
fell off, like the one where he hit the rope. Like he
Yes.
hit the rope. Yeah, I thought he was gonna die, man.
What the fuck, bro? I looked at the highlights, bro. I'm like, what the hell going on? And then,
AJ Gray's cool though. He's because he doesn't do ladder matches. He's one of those dudes that
uh,
like he fucking hits people. He's one of those guys. Like I don't know if you've watched any AJ Gray matches, but he's cool.
I might need to give, I need to give him a
He
chance.
comes out to Walk a Flock of Flame, and like he comes out
Oh,
like reps, like yeah, everyone gets behind him, and like he's one of those guys that like he throws like just violent lariats and like
okay,
punches motherfuckers, and like he does some death matches. Like he's one of those like he's a hard hitter and like really like into like the violent stuff. Like ladder
okay.
matches are not like he's better than a ladder match
So he's
for
like the
sure.
equivalent of like, hey, let's do a Money in the Bank. Let's get Randy Orton in there. Like he'll be like, what the fuck am I doing?
So yeah, like he doesn't fit the mold of ladder matches for
Yeah.
sure.
So just
Like
to give it,
he's more of a grounded guy too. Like he's like because
okay,
he's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's like a hoss. Like he really is. But he's really explosive, man. Like if you ever watch him like just like hit a clothesline, it is devastating. So I definitely fuck with AJ Gray. If you ever get a chance to watch some of his stuff, you should definitely do it.
I gotta check
He's
him
really
out.
fun to
I gotta check
watch.
him out.
But yeah, so they had those pre-show matches. They had the big battle royal in the pre-show, which I thought was really cool. It was like 50 something people, and it was a
50.
lot of like yeah, because like it was like constantly like wrestlers would come out and then they would just keep coming out like every few seconds or so,
Yeah, I
and so
missed this shit.
it was always this big reveal, and it was like because there was like a lot of big names, indie names in there too. Like the last entrant was Thunder Rosa.
Nice.
She was the last entrant, and Lou Fisto was in there. You know, legend Lou Fisto. She just got inducted into the Indie Hall of Fame
Nice.
this weekend.
Yeah.
So it ended up being down to her, Lou Fisto, Thunder Rosa, this guy Big Vin, another dude I didn't know. So they were the final four. I thought it was going to come down to Thunder Rosa and Lou Fisto. It didn't. This guy Big Vin won. That was cool, I guess. And then the first match was the grab the brass ring ladder match. That was the opener. So
Okay.
that's the one Leo Rush was supposed to be in. And this was the first part where I was like, okay, what's going on? So I
Right.
thought Leo Rush was announced for this match. He's just not here. They're not explaining why he's not here, but he's not in it.
Okay.
And so now they got a replacement for him, and then they added AJ Gray at the last minute
Okay.
because AJ Gray called out Eddie Kingston a few weeks ago
Right.
because he wanted to have a match with Eddie Kingston at this show, which
Okay.
would have been fucking bonkers.
So where the fuck
That
was
would
Eddie
have been
Kingston?
great. Two dudes. So for whatever reason, it couldn't happen. That's how they said it.
Okay.
Like
Wow.
said, like he was hoping. The commentator was like, he was hoping to fight Eddie Kingston, but for circumstances beyond our control, wasn't able to happen. And like so, there was these little moments where like nothing was explained, and I was like, I thought they were pushing this, now they're not doing that, and so it kind of felt clunky. And AJ
Oof.
Gray ended up winning. Probably the right call. AJ Gray's they're really big on him. I think he's a big part of that company, so
Uh-huh.
he's going to do some cool shit. For me, the match of the night though was probably the one after that, which was the Lucha Trios match.
Oh, with
Uh,
Bandito and all them. Okay.
Bandito, Gringo Loco,
Yeah.
like love Gringo Loco. I think everyone loves Gringo Loco.
I've seen some stuff from him. See, I'm a little bit behind on GCW and like the independent wrestlers that are in the company here and like
Mhm.
come in and out. So you got to catch me up. Got to get me up
Oh
to
yeah,
speed.
yeah.
I need to watch a little
So
bit more.
that match was great. They did some incredible things. Bandito is a freak. Shouts out to that guy ASF. I think I saw him in Dallas, but I'm not too familiar with him. But I've seen
Oh,
like a couple
dude, yeah, I've
times.
seen him on a couple local flyers. He's pretty good.
Yeah, like he was incredible. They really they tore the house down, and I think I think a lot of fans would probably say that was probably the match of the night, because after that, like some of their big like marquee matches, just I didn't feel like they really delivered with that. Like I don't think they did. Like the Ruby Soho Alley Catch was really excited for that match.
Oh
It was only like
yeah.
9 minutes, which is fine. Like short matches are okay as long as like there's a purpose there. But it just felt like they weren't given a lot of time. I don't know if the builds to the match was particularly great, and like Ruby Soho won that match and everyone was booing because they wanted Alley Catch to win.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be Alley Catch's moment.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, she didn't get it. But I think that's going to be okay for her because Allie Katch is a wrestler who is really good in defeat, kind of like Eddie Kingston is. Like Eddie Kingston can take a beating and like not go over as often, but like he doesn't lose his momentum just because there's like a victory. He always like has a way to like find victory in his defeats, and I think Allie
Right.
Katch is kind of like that. But yeah, and like the Effie and Jeff Jarrett, that was
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, I'll stop you right here because this is the match where I really sat down. I was like, okay, GCW, here we go. Jeff Jarrett, I love how he came out to a remix of his TNA theme. That was
My
dope.
World.
That was
God,
dope.
whenever you hear that, you just like anger, just like
Yeah,
ah.
that was dope. And then he kind of played like an outlaw character. He wasn't the same like get in your face slap nuts. He was very kind of like
He's doing his like last outlaw gimmick,
yeah, he's doing like
kind of like the
something.
Undertaker did back in like 2010 or whatever.
Oh, ain't no
2010, 2011.
grave can hold my body down. That shit,
Yeah, when
yeah.
like yeah, like he. But I don't know. I think Jarrett's a little better fitted.
Fun fact:
With that.
Jeff Jarrett's first match in 3 years.
All right.
Last time he wrestled was Elias on Raw or some shit like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he was just on Friday Night SmackDown before
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that was
Like
crazy.
this
Yeah,
week, I was like, oh shit.
yeah. That was pointless.
Yeah.
Uh, and then this is my first time seeing Effie.
You never seen an Effie match?
Never seen Effie.
Oh, Effie's great, man.
I like him. I think his look is different. The fishnets and like the daddy stuff
Yeah, has the daddy on the ass.
on the ass of the
Yeah,
trunks.
yeah,
I
he's
saw that.
been really big for queer wrestling and LGBTQ representation. Like he's been really been kind of one of like the people that are carrying that banner and really bringing a lot more respect to queer wrestlers
Oh, that's
and queer wrestling
awesome.
fans.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
That's
yeah, it's really
cool.
good. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing some cool stuff. Yeah, I love Effie. He's great. Yeah, you should definitely check out some Effie matches. He's had some like because he can go in the ring too. Like he's had some really great matches with a lot of people.
Okay.
Really good shit.
One thing I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up before we get into the match is this show was bloodless. Isn't that weird? Or did I miss something? Was Moxley and Homicide they have blood? It was bloodless for a GCW
I
show.
don't think they had a lot of blood, did they?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of
Hmm.
weird.
I'm trying to think. I have
Maybe
to
the
go back and
Briscoes
check.
match later, but I don't
That
know.
match was only like 5 minutes long.
Oh, what a match! Okay, we're gonna get to that because
Yeah.
that was weird. That was a very weird match. But
Yeah.
Effie Jeff
But
Jarrett,
again, like that's like it was a lot of weird stuff. But yeah, Effie Jarrett was kind of cool. It was about like I think it was like 12 minutes.
yeah, they gave him some time.
Jeff's an older guy now. He's got a.
I think we skipped the Matt Cardona match, didn't we?
Oh, we did skip the Matt Cardona
What the
match.
fuck? Can you explain what the fuck happened? What the fuck was happening? Like all these people were coming in and like it had so many surprises and it was just like Hornswoggle and Marco Stunt and Chelsea Green and Virgil. What the fuck is going on?
Brian Myers.
Brian, looking
Kurt
ass,
Hawkins from
looking
WWE.
ass with the edge,
Edgeheads.
like stop. Oh, is that why they did that? Because
Yeah, because
like
they were Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They were the Edgeheads.
the edge heads, and
And
so
their careers have always kind of been pretty
around
linked
Edge.
because of that.
Okay, well I
And
know
now,
why he
like,
saved them, but like they did the same Edge spear thing from like
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that match was crazy, and that's been Matt Cardona's thing, is like just being up. And man, he is such a great heel. Like
he's an awesome heel.
he like the way that he can get fans to just hate him on like a visceral level. Like that's kind of rare. That's not always the easy to do, to like get people to like really, really, really want to hate you.
Yeah,
Like you got to be like really good for that shit, because a lot of times, a lot of heels, a lot of the worst thing that happens to them is people don't really care that much. They're like, yeah, whatever. But like, yeah, he is great as a heel. I love him. He's just a giant piece of shit to fucking everyone. And yeah, the Janela match. Not huge on Janela personally.
Me neither, man.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I'm
Me
not a
neither.
huge Janela guy. And it's got. I mean, it's just. I'm just not. I just don't fuck with his whole vibe. It's not for me.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Yeah,
yeah.
but the match was insane. So like all those twists and turns, like Chelsea Green, like low blows Matt Cardona, and then like oh she's on Joey's side, then drops him. Matt Cardona pulls out a cup from his tights, and like
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
It
That
is
was a crazy,
crazy.
crazy match, and there was so much. Yeah,
It was
it was.
just enough to be like so crazy. It's entertaining. It wasn't like too much of a clusterfuck because I'm like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah, I think they had a lot. I think they found a way to make it have a lot of purpose, and like it was kind of going somewhere. And like again, like Matt Cardona got the win, and like everyone. Well, when he came out to enter Sandman, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
It was like everyone was in like, because he comes out with his fucking flannel and shit, and spits out the beer like an asshole.
Yeah. It said "fuck McFoley" on the back too.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was cool.
No, that's really cool. That match was crazy, and yeah, and like yeah, there was that one. And Mance Warner, he showed up. He's a guy that I like a lot. He's in this tag team with a guy named Matthew Justice, and he's been out for a while with injury.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool how they were able to incorporate the fact that he couldn't wrestle. But like, oh, we'll give him like a match, and it's like they just beat the shit out of.
Yeah.
Sabu showed up. Bill Alfonso showed up. Like, there a lot of ECW shit. Like, a lot of ECW.
Yeah. Like you said, throwing back to it. Sabu came out too. I saw
Sabu came out. Yeah. Like, they're pretty, like, yeah, like a lot of folks see GCW as kind of like that second coming of what ECW was, because they're a company that like kind of embraces all the different aspects of wrestling. They can have like really great, shoot style matches with like Tony Deppen, and he like Taiji Ishimori came out from New Japan. Like, they can have these really great, like just kind of classic like 5-star type matches. They can do death matches. They do the comedy shit. They try to embrace all that, which is to their credit, which is pretty cool. Just something about this show, like it felt like it was supposed to be really historic, but it didn't feel that way for me, just because of how clunky it kind of felt.
It did feel kind of clunky, like they were kind of like losing track of time, and what needed to be highlighted wasn't highlighted. It did feel a little. It did feel like they were trying to make this.
The pacing was so weird.
The pacing was weird,
so
yeah.
off.
And they were trying to make this their WrestleMania, because honestly, like I've never really been like, okay, let me watch this GCW show. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Unless they came to Dallas live, which I've always missed it by accident, but
yeah.
Like unless
they're coming back. They're coming back in February. You can go to that one.
Oh, we might have to go. We might have to go.
We have to think about that one.
Yeah. We might. But but yeah, this. I feel like they had a lot going into the show, and we can kind of skim through. Moxley won, of course, against Homicide. That was cool.
Yeah,
we all knew
and
that was probably
at first I was like, okay, wait, I thought the open challenge was going to happen. Like, is that not? I thought that was, but like they ended up headlining. I'm like, is this the main event? Like, they had a fine match. The fuck Bully Ray chants were cool.
Yes.
Another little ECW.
Yes. Yeah, that's an ECW. That's an ECW mention for your ass right there. Yeah. Fuck Bully Ray and the Hammerstein Ball on a while.
Yeah, fuck Bully Ray.
Yeah, what was his ass on about? But Moxley won. Great to see him win. He's still GCW champion, which is crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Still GCW champion. I think they'll probably set up for Nick Gage, John Moxley again. That's a big one for them.
Speaking of Nick Gage, so the Briscoes come out. It's them boys. They came out and they issued an open challenge, and we're waiting. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then, the first guy comes out, Matt Tremont, who's like a deathmatch wrestler, legend or whatever like that. He comes out. Everybody's like, oh, it's not FTR? Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt Tremont comes out, okay, cool. Who is it next? Who's next? Nick Gage's manager comes out. Oh, shit, it's Nick Gage. Nick Gage comes out, and first of all, I didn't know he had to leave. Mm-hmm. Second of all, he not looking too hot. I don't know. I'm not one to judge people's appearance, because I know everybody goes through their own things and stuff like that. But he ballooned. Like, I'm trying to figure out like what happened to where he kind of looks a little bit more out of shape. Like his swagger and his steps a little gone in my opinion. I might have saw something different.
Kind of felt a little bloated.
A little bloated.
Yeah.
Maybe ate good. Been eating good. While on this
Yeah.
break.
I mean, he still could do like, and even like he's never been, especially late. Like he's never been super mobile in the ring.
Yeah, for
Like
real.
he kind of feel like he kind of like moves very still. He doesn't have like a really great range of motion.
Yeah, he's not gonna do a rebound off the ropes, drop down toe hold to
Yeah.
a shoulder tackle, fake it out.
Yeah,
He's not
he's
gonna do
got a
all that
very
shit.
pretty limited moveset, but like that connection that he has to the crowd, man, like when for whom the bell tolls hits, like that crowd, they swarm him. And like he
Yeah,
just has this connection with the people that is pretty incredible to see. Like it's a pretty cool live experience to see Nick Gage come out and do his thing because the people are really behind Nick Gage very organically too. And Nick Gage is a guy like who has been pretty like outspoken about like, some pretty cool shit. Like, he shouts out like trans rights and stuff and like he'll
Oh,
shout out
nice.
like, free Palestine and like just shit like that, like little cool things. And he just kind of, has always been a guy for the people. And I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And
No,
I like Nick
I
Gage.
like
Yeah.
I like Nick Gage too. The thing
Uh-huh.
is, I was gonna say another thing he does. I went to a Daily Ooze show. Shout out Daily Ooze in Dallas. They throw like
Mm-hmm.
local events.
Oh yeah.
So it was like near the end, and people were filing out and leaving, because it was getting late. But it was still a Nick Gage match to go. He was fighting Just Incredible in a hardcore match. Probably about 30 people surrounding the ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm still there.
Mm-hmm.
30 people, not that many people. He
Mm-hmm.
still came out, did the whole, hey, fuck you. I want some fucking blood.
Where's my fucking gang at?
Yeah. Empty fucking cake. Like, still doing all the things.
Yeah, the MDK thing.
Yeah, and he's still showing out because he loves it. I can tell he loves this. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people might say some things because he, deathmatch wrestler, did some dumb shit in the past, whatever. But I feel like he's the heart of Nick Gage coming in and still performing to the best of his ability is something I always respect him for. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always gonna give his all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like 'cause he was supposed to wrestle in Dallas, one of the shows I was there, and he was there, and like they didn't want him to fight because of some injuries he had from the night before, and like I heard that they were like had to really fight him and tell him like, no, you can't go out there because like you could die.
Yeah.
And like up until the time he was supposed to come out, like he was trying to like get cleared, like because he wanted to be out here and wrestle, but his injuries just like he couldn't do it. And yeah, like, and so I didn't get to see Nick Gage that night, which was a bummer. But I'm glad they took his health. Health came first.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of guy he is. Yeah, he gives it everything for the people. And like that was a cool moment to see the Nick Gage return. The moment at the end was really cool. I just think overall, like it could have been a better executed show. I'm excited for him, like to be able to sell out the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah.
To have that kind of hype, to have the support behind them. It just their live shows, especially when it comes to like their streaming, it could still use a lot of work. I think there's a lot of technical aspects that they need a lot of work in still. I think
you can see it's coming along. It's coming along. Like the production still looks pretty okay. It still looks pretty okay. Like as far as like the camera cuts and everything like that. But they'll get it. They'll get it once everything, once they get more funding, stuff like that. Once more eyes are on them, stuff like that too.
Yeah, because that's their big thing is that like they're a company of just kind of the outsiders, like just kind of like these poor people that just wanted to fucking do wrestling, and they're doing all this by themselves.
Yeah.
And everyone loves a good underdog. Everyone loves people just really getting in there and making something out of nothing if they can.
Hot take. I think they're what AEW thinks they are. Because AEW wants to be the underdog. Dude, Tony Khan's the fucking
You got a
CEO.
billionaire funding you.
Yeah, stop it. Y'all not no fucking underdogs. Y'all are just literally the alternative.
And people are finally starting to see that, I think, because people love to dick ride Tony Khan a bit, like, oh, Tony Khan saved wrestling. I'm like, dude, he's just another little shithead billionaire that grew up on the wrestling forums.
Yeah.
He's basically he basically wants to, because he's talked about when he was a kid, he used to play with like with wrestlers and stuff, and like he used to like write fantasy shows and book. And like, this is a guy that wants to just make all of his like
fantasies come true.
Fantasies come true. He wants to like play with his action figures again.
Yeah, you want to know the moment I knew Tony Khan was goofy as fuck. It was like one AEW episode went off the air, and Cody came down with Sean Spears, something like that, and they were like taking turns stunnering it, doing a Stone Cold Stunner to him.
Oh
One of the goofiest off-air moments in wrestling history. Cody, first of all, Cody, you so fucking butthurt. They don't want you no more, Cody. Stop fucking bringing up WWE. Second of all, Tony Khan coming out with this weak ass stunner, just exposing the whole business. Then here come Ref Aubrey. Ooh, I did one too. Get the fuck on somewhere. I like Aubrey Edwards a little bit at first, but now it's just, I don't know. Everybody just seems so corny. Like they're always trying to be like, we're making fun of you. Like, stop it, bro. Stop it. Tony Khan does the same thing. Cody does the same thing. I'm going off on a little tangent, but you know what I'm saying. Tony Khan.
Once again, it's those little, like, just those little wink moments they do. And they do them so often. And it's so, like, stop. It's so grating when they do those little things, and it's pretty goofy. Like, Tony Khan's just another billionaire kind of dipshit dude that, because he's never like, Tony Khan's never had to really be a person because he's just been rich his whole life.
Yeah.
So, like, he's just kind of a weird guy. Yeah, he's just kind of a weird dude that has a lot of money and then just put a bunch of money in his little project. He just put his, like, all of his billions of dollars into his little project. His little wrestling project. And, like, granted, like, that's why, like, for me, I'm always about the wrestlers first. That's always what it comes back to. It comes down to the workers who I like to see perform, getting able to do their craft and to the best of their ability. I've never been about, like, riding for any particular company or any business model, because for me, at the end of the day, it's always about the art of wrestling and the craft of wrestling. So, I like AEW, they do good shit. I watch it weekly because I think a lot of the wrestlers there are doing some incredible stuff. But like, I'm not going to pretend that Tony Khan isn't, a little fucker. Like, still.
For sure, with too much goddamn money,
He's too much goddamn money, and like, he's real arrogant. He's a cocky motherfucker.
He is.
He
I
thinks
don't like that. He
thinks he can just say whatever he wants.
It's not. You can't. I can't get behind you if you're not humble, bro. Like, you gotta, like, if you want to be this, like, underdog,
he's gonna get someone's gonna check him eventually.
If you want to be this underdog, like, oh yeah, I just formed a company and everybody came together and we wanted to do it. We just wanted to do it, bro. You had all the fucking money. Cody and the Young Bucks came to you and was like, "Hey, bro, can we please have a wrestling pro, please?" And then you were like, "Yeah, dude, I got money. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, Stop it." And the Jaguars suck. What the fuck? They ass.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely fuck Tony Khan. Like, for sure. Like,
this message has been brought to you by Vince McMahon gang.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
But no, dude. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, but
a lot of stuff going on.
That's a lot of stuff going on. We covered GCW. We covered the current events this week because we know it's a bunch of bullshit probably gonna happen next week. And
Can't wait.
We showed y'all who we were. Darian and Shane, man. This is Digital Suplex Radio. We're gonna try to do this. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe weekly, bi-weekly. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? If our schedule permits, if my computer permits, if it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things coming. So stay tuned, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe. We might be on some streaming services soon. I'm thinking about, by the way, I'm telling you right now, Shane, I'm thinking about getting this on Spotify too, as far as like the audio version. Yeah. So I'm down for that. And then, of course, if you don't feel like sitting through this long ass hour, 23-minute video, then I will be definitely going through making clips and highlighting some stuff we said. So, yeah, man, it's been the first episode of Digital Suplex Radio, man. I think it went good. And, man, until next time, we'll see y'all later. I don't know how to end it yet. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, see y'all.